Hawaii. Thank you. Sherry Picard, who's in Montreal, Quebec. We have our newest member, Tammy, who's in Ohio, but who can be on today's call. And all of you, every single person who's on today's call is part of our movement and part of, this is why we do these calls. Maybe you're not part of the council, but you're part of the movement. We're on this journey together. We're here to bring ideas, suggestions in the news, everything that we learn in our everyday life. And we think we're like, you know what, this would benefit our community. So as you all know, I've been part of the council for the past almost 4 years, I would say, 4 years. And what drove me to this mission is really glyphosate toxicity. You don't know what you don't know. When my son became sick, I had no idea it was glyphosate. And when I found this out, this changed my entire outlook of everything. As a researcher, I thought I knew everything, but I had no idea that glyphosate was an issue. And it was causing IBS. It was causing so many symptomatic issues in my little son. And when I found a solution, which I was at the launch of Biomedic, and someone suggested it to me, and it worked. And not only did it worked so fast. I knew I needed to start sharing this with every single mama and human that I met, because I went to all the experts and no one gave me a solution. Everyone gave me topical remedies, even homeopathic things, that nothing worked. And when your child is suffering, your entire family is suffering. So when this worked for us, I had to start going live and going public and sharing the solution with every person, because too many of us have been told there's nothing we can do. And you know what? There is something that we can do. And if we can do it with a supportive community such as this, why not? And we've all been through different facets of life. And whatever journey you are on, you can reach out to us. Always reach out to the person who has invited you to this call, because that person cares so much about you to invite you to this call, to have you feel our community. And we are all on different stages. We're all on different levels of our journey. And you know what? We're all up leveling our journey, because we don't know everything. And when we learn something new, we always want to share it with you. Now, so on today's call, we're going to be talking about plastic-free, eco-friendly ideas, because now the holidays are happening. And I don't know about you guys, but when I go down the mall or the store or the restaurants, what do I see? I see so much waste when it comes to plastic, when it comes to everything, waste. There's so much waste everywhere, and waste wrapped in waste, right? And what does waste equal? Toxicity. And then what does that equal? It goes into our body. We breathe it in, we inhale it. It's around us, it's surrounding us on all levels. So before we get to the community's questions and testimonials, let's go into In the News with Sherry.
Thank you, Tess. And before I get into our first In the News piece, I just wanted to add to what you were saying there, that I too believe that glyphosate toxicity was a huge part of my son's diagnosis as well, back in 2018. And everything that you just said, you did exactly what you set out to do, because you were the one who brought this information to me. And I am eternally forever grateful, because I was already in the holistic health field and I had learned very, very little about glyphosate toxicity and its role in our health, really, and how it affects us. So I just wanted to put that out there, that I'm extremely thankful and that you are doing exactly what you set out to do. And then I had to pay it forward. Like, there was no doubt in my mind that if I need this information and you had needed this information and we didn't have it, then many people need it. And so this is why we do what we do. So with that, share my screen. Okay, so this is our first in news. So this article speaks specifically to Canada, but you'll see that my second article is from the United States, and the numbers are the same, okay? So reduce holiday waste. The holidays are a season of joy and giving, but are also, unfortunately, a season filled with trash. Canadians produce tons of waste over the holidays. To be precise, about 50 kilograms per person in the month of December alone. That's around 25% higher than all the other months of the year. So I thought 25%, that's very significant. So how can we, of course, do our part to reduce holiday waste? Because this is on all of us, right? So some of the smart and sustainable shopping ideas that this article lists are: we can make a list before going to the store to help you avoid impulse buys. We can also give gifts to experience, such as movie tickets and restaurant gift certificates, an adventure or a class. Those, from my experience over the last couple of years, I've tried to switch over to buying a whole lot more gifts that are experiences, and the end result is always fantastic. The feedback I always get from those types of presents are so much higher than another toy or a video game, that eventually kids will get fed up of, or another item of clothing for someone that, it's just another item of clothing. Whereas when you're buying an experience, so much better and so much less waste to an experience, right? You can shop at local markets and stores where products are made closer to home and often have less packaging. We can think about renting or borrowing items that we don't often need. We can see our community resource lists for that. We can choose products with less packaging. We can remember to take a reusable bag with us to the grocery shopping. Pretty simple, but often forgotten, right? Some of these tips are really simple, but I know in the heat of the moment, especially a lot of us, are shopping last minute, or even if we shop ahead of time, there's often something we forget. And so in the hustle and bustle, all that rushing that we're doing, we can often forget some of these very simple tips. So purchase products in bulk rather than single serve containers. Divide snacks for lunches into reusable containers when we get home. We can avoid purchasing disposable items such as plastic cutlery, paper plates, and razors. We can invest in a set of rechargeable batteries. We can purchase LED bulbs, which last for years and can be recycled. We could choose clothing made from natural fibers like wool or cotton that tend to last longer than synthetic fabrics like acrylic or nylon. And we can try to avoid purchasing cheap novelty items and toys that quickly end up in the landfill. So that was the first article. I'll jump over to the second one. Yeah. So our second one. So how to manage waste effectively after the holiday season. Well, towards the end of each year, we have a holiday season from Thanksgiving all the way straight through to New Year's Day. It's a pleasure to celebrate these days with our loved ones, accompanied by delicious meals and eye-catching decorations, carefully selected gifts. But on the other hand, it is necessary to think and act more consciously around the shopping and consumption madness triggered by the holiday season. Have you ever thought about what happens to all those gift wrappers, those decorations, the leftovers when the plentiful meals are not finished and the gifts are opened and the decorations come down? So even in the holiday season, adopting a more sustainable and conscious consumption habit is something everyone should acquire. The garbage generation per household during the holiday season is 25% more than the rest of the year because Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Christmas, New Year's, and Thanksgiving celebrations only in the US. So that's because of those celebrations. So see, the number is the same, 25% more in Canada, 25% more in the US. I think it's fair to say it's about, that's a good percentage around the world. And I think that that's a very large one, considering that we're really only talking about 3 months here, 2 to 3 months, depending on where you celebrate Thanksgiving. Think about the trash problems in the world throughout the holiday season. In short, it's time to develop greener and more eco-friendly ways to deal with holiday waste. So fortunately, with a bit of care and creativity and smart waste management, we can really adapt eco-friendly ways, right, throughout the holidays. So consider the 3 R's in holiday season: reduce, reuse, recycle. So we know these well already. I know our kids are taught them as well in school, but how can we take this and apply it to the holiday season? So first we can look at reusing. So look at what you've bought throughout the season and consider which ones you can be reusing. When you start adopting this point of view, you will also begin to prefer more eco-friendly products when purchasing. For example, when choosing trees for Christmas and New Year's, you can buy reusable ones. You can keep decorations, especially ribbons and lights, after the celebrations are over and reuse them at following parties. You can produce the gift wrapping using old packaging, and that we're going to talk a little bit more about later on, maps, or anything you like. When sending gifts, how about using old newspapers instead of non-reusable foams or papers as fillers? Ensure that gift bags are reusable. Compost the leftovers. Although not every waste is compostable, it stands out as a method beneficial to nature. Now we get into reducing. So reducing is especially important for energy saving and food waste prevention. We need to try not to shop and prepare more food than we need. This is, I know it's a difficult one. For someone who has hosted many holidays, you're always worried about running out of food. But I have to tell you that in all the years that I worried about running out of food, I never ran out of food. In fact, I always had leftovers and people had more than one plate. So I think that, that's a really good place to start in terms of where we can start reducing a little bit. Less is more, right? And we can definitely adapt that for our meals around the holidays. So food waste is already a significant problem. So it is essential to consume it consciously when preparing holiday dinner tables. Remember, every thrash means loss of natural resources and energy. Prefer products with minimal packaging. You can save energy by choosing LED for lighting. Choose a more efficient and eco-friendly way of buying in bulk. Then we go into recycling. So one of the most critical points in waste management is distinguishing between garbage and reusable resources. And I know most of you can agree. I always find it funny when I look out on my street, Christmas Day, and then again on Boxing Day, and then maybe sometimes around New Year's, you see all of the recycling, all of the garbage that people put out, right? People buy new like flat screen TVs and all kinds of things. You see all of these big boxes outside. It's so important that we remember to recycle what we can, right? Instead of just throwing it all into the waste. Luckily, you can choose recyclable items from gift selections, even electronics, to the table decorations and Christmas tree, for example, a potted tree. So you will make a notable contribution to the green holiday season if you adapt these 3 R's. On the other hand, this awareness and household solutions may not be enough if they are not combined with smart waste management. So we have to look at, of course, the bigger picture in terms of when we are looking to help reduce some of this over the holidays, right? So these 3 R's can definitely guide us, I believe. And so with that, I will pass it back over to Tess.
Thank you so much, Sherry. And you saying this article and about like the recycling and everything and all those numbers, I just feel that it's even more in cities. Just think of like New York City. Think of the waste as such a small square footage, or Montreal or Miami. I feel like the numbers would be even higher. And Boxing Day comes from the whole term of boxes. Boxes were there, and that's how that term happened. So imagine now with everyone just going on Amazon and doing those orders. How many people do we know that has all of these empty boxes, right? I mean, it's so much waste, and the holidays don't end, because as soon as Christmas is done, and depending your faith and what you celebrate, I mean, then you have New Year's, and then you have, if you're following all of the trends, and then you have Valentine's Day. I mean, it never ends. There's always something to celebrate. So if we can start looking at ideas and showing you guys for your quest for the perfect gift, you know what? We need to talk about how we started and what's really our passion, right? How many of you remember our pledge? Drop a 1 in the comment if you remember our pledge and you know what it stands for. Because at the beginning, we read the pledge at the beginning, then we would read at the end. But the pledge is really, it's our mantra of who we are, right? It's not, we don't just talk about these things on the call. We go out and we live this way. We pass it on to the future generation. This is the point. This is why we're doing this. This is why we're part of this movement. So I would love one of my special guests who will be talking shortly, Kevin Luna, to unmute himself and share and read the pledge.
Yeah, absolutely. So I pledge to defend the health of myself and my family. I pledge to choose organic foods that are minimally processed and free of man-made ingredients. I pledge to read labels and educate myself on all aspects of clean living. I understand that my actions today will positively impact the health and environment of future generations. I am committed to sharing this movement of many, and I am the Million Mom Movement.
I love that. You read that so beautifully, Kevin. So I wanted to ask you, what does the pledge mean to you?
Yeah, I mean, to me, the pledge is something that I can look up to or look to help guide me, through my lifestyle and what I live on a day-to-day basis. And I think it also helps to really easily communicate to other people, what I'm even talking about or what we are talking about and what is important to us. And I think when you read it and you understand it, it becomes more clear to people because sometimes people can look to you're making a different or you're doing something different. People are like, that's different. You know what I mean? I'm used to this. And you're like, you're doing something different. Oftentimes the question, or even the question isn't presented to you, but the question is usually thought, why? Like, I don't know, like, why are you doing that change? And so it really puts it clearly, clearly to explain, why you're making that change.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. And if you guys don't know this yet, at the beginning of a calls, when you show up earlier, you get to hear a little bit of insider information from us. So Kevin is one of our brand partners who's an amazing person who you'll hear from later during the call, but he's building this business with his mom. Okay. And it's so beautiful to see both of them team up and always sharing information. I was just telling him before that what a dream would it be to build this business with your family member and your mom, because a lot of times, the way we are, like everything I suffered from, everything my son suffered from is because the mom didn't know. Right. So now if we can transform our moms, especially instead of being like, oh, well, I didn't know. And what can I do? It's, I don't know. And here are the solutions, right? How beautiful is that? We are really changing the generations and all of our past lives as well. It's just beautiful. So I wanted to get into the quest for the perfect gift. Okay. And, we're here to promote health and eco-friendly values is what we're all about. So gifting Purium is a great way to promote the style of Purium. I mean, just look at all of our packaging. It's beautifully packaged. Everything is zero waste, and you're giving the gift of health, right? So we have so many gifts so Purium offers a range of, everything is organic, non-GMO superfoods, and nutrient density, right? Because all the food that we're buying at the grocery store, it's all in plastic and layers of plastic. This is not one type of plastic. This is going from one manufacturer to the other. So by the time it gets to you, the nutrition value has decreased by a lot, right? So we're giving people the highest vibrational foods, you're giving them eco-friendly, and you're giving them high nutrient density. Okay. And as I was talking about, reducing the waste. So to enhance the zero waste aspect of your gift, pay attention to the packaging, okay? Choose products with minimally packaging or offer those who have eco-friendly packaging. So what do I mean by that? Maybe there's glass, maybe there's recycled material. But you know what I learned about recycled material? That I think the number was 70%, but correct me if I'm wrong, that 70% of recycled packages and materials don't even get recycled. It just stays there in the recycled landfills. So, I mean, it just gives us another level to understand when we're buying recycle, what does it really mean, right? How can we reduce? How can we reuse? How can we do things more compostable? Okay. And I know we have another council member who would be sharing about gift wrapping. Okay, so let's just go into our guests now. I have Kevin Luna, who just read our pledge. So he's a holistic nutritionist, mainly plant-based, and he has an amazing story about an eco community that he was participating in Belize, okay? And I wanted him to come on and share all of his tips and tricks and, everything who he is, and share it with our community, because what I understood about his time in Belize is that it fulfilled these three main aspects, which were plant-based, which is something that's very strong and I value a lot. Second, eco-friendly, which is what we're talking about. And thirdly, which we all stand by, is community. So I wanted to introduce him and have him share his genius.
Thank you so much. And I just want to share something to add to what you were saying about my mom is something that made a big difference. And I think there's a lot of moms that are listening, or a lot of moms in this call. And what I notice for moms that's maybe different than maybe, you know, dads, I guess, is that you have your children and your purpose, and you feel like your purpose is bringing up your children in the best way you know how, right? And then I think sometimes your children grow up and they move on, and you feel like, well, what now? Like, what do I do now? You know what I mean? And I think that's where she was left at, and where some other moms may be left at. And what this has given her is a real purpose. And you can see it in the daily actions that she takes, as a real purpose of, you know, driven to want to make a difference in the world and other people's lives. And that's something that she, you know, that anyone can have. And it's a gift that anyone could get as well. So I think that is something unique that a lot of moms can experience, and something really, really great that we offer as well. So as far as eco-friendly ideas and gift ideas and living in, you know, an eco village and that sort of stuff, it was an incredible experience going to Belize and experiencing that type of lifestyle like you described. I was there for over a year, and it was primarily because of everything you talked about in the mindset that a lot of people that are listening have. If everything resonated that she said before, then going to a place like that would definitely resonate. You're like, yeah, like that seems like a no-brainer. If you have the opportunity, like you should go do it. And so it was an incredible opportunity. And because of that, I was really focused. I really loved the eco aspect. It was really incredible. You know, that was a big priority. You know, even the way that we no chopping down trees, no taking down trees, everything synergistic with nature, everything belonging with nature. Even the homes that were built were right next to being part of the trees, you know, no taking them down, no tearing them down, and building plants around the areas to make sure that you can have complementary plants, you know, organic, you know, no chemicals, but also the climate was ideal for like tropical, you know, like palm tree or whatever, like pineapples and coconuts, right? Stuff like that. But the challenge is when people are like, I want some of this, or how do I share this? And that's what I was doing mostly, is trying to share to people. And the challenge was, how do I share this with people? I can't ship you coconuts. I can't ship you pineapples. You know what I mean? Like, even if this is a good quality, like I was unable to do it, you know? And that is something that I felt really blessed to have this opportunity to be able to share some of these gifts to people, even though I wasn't nearby, you know what I mean? I wasn't close, you know, like you might think in proximity, because that's when people think, oh, I can only give someone a gift if they're close to me, or if I can ship it to them or whatever, right? So some people don't think like that, right? And then you compare that, the difference, right? From that kind of, imagine that kind of lifestyle, right? And comparing that to like in the US, right? Where I used to work in like a retail job, where like something like a Target or like a Walmart during these holidays is like craziness. I saw all the behind the scenes, all that waste, all that plastic. How many things get broken? How many things get thrown in the trash? How much plastic wrap over plastic wrap? It's not just plastic that you see, it's all the plastic that they had to get it into their warehouse. You know what I mean? All of that, and that's more. That's even more plastic, right? All that is totally trash, right? And a lot of that is going into people's, you know, into their homes, like we were all talking about, right? And so all of this stuff really, really adds up. And another thing that's really crazy that we don't think about in the U.S., you might have seen a landfill, or maybe you've been nearby one or something like that. But what people don't realize is that the US, and like maybe other countries too, ship their trash to other countries. Like third world countries, they'll ship their waste to the other countries, and now it's their problem. We created it or purchased it or paid for it, but it's like we're putting it onto someone else's problem. But then some people are like, well, that's not my problem. For some people, right? But that stuff not only gets into the waterways, you know, it gets into our rivers, it impacts, you know, the wildlife. If you're eating that stuff, then you know, the microplastics are getting in you. So like this stuff impacts you, even if you think it doesn't impact you. And so some eco-friendly, eco ideas, right, that I really love, and I really love to share with people, that I really think it's so simple, that Purium offers a lot of this stuff and makes it so easy for us. And I'm so blessed. I'll give you a couple of examples that I really, really love. So one is these cards that we have here, these thank you cards. Everyone gives Christmas cards. It's so common, but it kind of, I was telling the Todd, was like, it kind of went away during Facebook. It's like Facebook became the new greeting cards. And it's like, there aren't greeting cards, but you know how special it is to someone to get something handwritten, how they feel. Think about a time you got something handwritten. It really feels special. It's totally unique. It's totally different. Like you were saying, buying experiences, that's special, right? Having something that's handwritten, that's from your heart, that really means something, that's paired that with, like something like, an apothecary or some of the really small sample packs. We have incredible little sample packs here that are perfectly designed to give to people that are already plastic free, already eco-friendly, that we didn't have last year. We didn't even have that ability to give those ones last year. So it opens up a whole new possibility of opportunities because of all these different sample size packs. And that's easier because sometimes people think, hey, you know what? It's really hard for me to give a whole huge package. I just can't do that. But you know what's reasonable? I can give these small packages. And you know what people do that don't have the small packages, which I really, really love. And I've done this as well, as go to the dollar store, go to a really small place, a thrift store, get some glass containers or really eco-friendly, reusable containers, and get your foods in those and ship those to them or hand those to them or give those to them or put them in the stocking stuffers, make them stocking stuffers. There's a lot of different opportunities there. And I think that makes it really, really easy and really simple. And if you write the note explaining why is this important? Why is this of value? Why is this important to me? Why is this important to you? How is this going to impact you? I think that can go a long way. The other ones that are really great, which I don't think we had this last year either, which is just so easy. And there's so many colors, is the blender bottles. This is the box. I know it's blurry, but this is an example of the colored one, the pink one, right? Or white or blue or red. What is their favorite color? You get someone their favorite color, one of these, they're going to be bringing it everywhere. And it's so easy. They're portable. You blend it up. They're rechargeable. You could give them, their favorite drink with it included, right? So now they could take it everywhere. It's reusable. I think that is, if I got that as a gift for me, like I would use that all the time. I'd be super appreciative. Like that's not even something that people get very common, like anything like that. Something else that I think is unique that we have that's very, very, that could be, well, I guess this one is great because it's the tote bag. We have the juice bar in the bag, the tote bag, because it's already a tote bag. It's reusable. I've had this for many years. I can use it all the time, bring it everywhere I go, right? And then also, if you get them the whole juice bar in a bag thing too, which I've done that. Last year, one of my friends, I gave her that gift. She loves juices. I was like, here's the whole juice bar in a bag. And that's an incredible gift because now it is completely plastic free. That's the other thing, is in the past it wasn't. So now it is a totally, like, even more eco-friendly than it was in the past. And if you like juices on the go, like, that's one of the best things that you could possibly have. Because that's the other thing, is when people are juicing and they're trying to be really healthy, they're traveling, they're on the go, maybe they're traveling for holidays, maybe they're doing these things. How are they going to bring their juicer? Like, come on, like, they're not going to be able to bring it to all these places. So that makes it really, really easy to give them. I've given a whole ultimate lifestyle transformation as a gift at the right time to the right person. So that's already in the box. It's already ready to go. So those are a few, really simple ideas that I think can go a long way. And I think it's about the intention and about the emotion and really how you share it. Just like, here's this random thing, like, okay, well, it's just another random thing, but like, this really means a lot to me, and this is why. I think that's what makes a big impact.
Kevin, I love all of your suggestions and like your gift ideas. Like, I can't wait to receive a gift from you. Everything sounds amazing, and don't forget, we have those glass bottles as well. That's a great gift as well. We have so many things available to us. And there was something that you mentioned when we were talking recently. You were talking about the transformation book.
Yeah, so the transformation book, I had it right next to me. Where did it go? Well, anyways, it was right next to me, the transformation book. I think that's a really incredible gift because that explains everything that someone needs to know. And especially the way you say, this is the transformation, like in the name, like the transformation book, like what it's the transformation book. Like there's no other book like it, right? And you really tell them that it's that important. And even what's really cool about it is it looks totally handmade because it is handmade. And you're like, this is handmade. Like this is a handmade book. Like where like everything has been put there, you know, strategically in a way to make sure that you have all the information you need to truly transform, right? And even if you might even have only a few things, they might not even have some of the things, but that could inspire them to say, you know what, I do want to do this transformation. And maybe before they were on the fence. And maybe before now they're like, you know what, I feel empowered now to actually do this. And I like that I've been adding the sleeves. I added the brand new mushrooms. I don't know if you've seen the mushroom blend that got shipped. It came with a brand new, really high quality thing. I made some space in there and put the mushrooms in there. Also testimonials, like people that I've helped, my own testimonial, they fit in there. You know what I mean? And so you can give those, I mean, that's a gift to someone or even just for yourself in general. That's really good.
Such a great idea. And you know, I really love reusing our boxes. Like the Core 4 box is so small and the perfect size. Just to give that as a gift, I mean, it comes in its own like wrapping. Just add a bow to it and it's perfect. And you just give that as a gift. The ULT is a little big, but the Core 4, I think it's the perfect size. And I even keep those boxes and I use it to reuse. You know, like I'll put other things inside and I'll give those as gifts. And you know, the apothecary, what you were talking about, that's my favorite. That's my go-to for every single teacher, every single person I meet. Instead of wine, I don't give wine. I give apothecary and I put that bow on it. And sometimes I put my QR code as a sticker and I'm like, there you go. You know, here's a gift of sleep, regenerative sleep. This is what you actually need, not wine to help you pass out. That's not what we need to be doing in the world. Let's do glass. Let's do eco-friendly. Let's do things that regenerate your body. I love all of your tips, and the sample packets are genius. You know, we have all of this at our disposal now. So why not use that this time as a gift to give away, right? What are we sharing? Exactly, all the samples. We have the power shake, the can't be this, the dark berry, the coffee protein, matcha, chai, the cocoa hydrate, the MVP, vanilla and chocolate, and family. And the family has adaptogenic mushrooms, Epigenius family, which is complete, and our shaker balls and the hand blenders. I mean, we have so many things at our disposal. And I love the thank you cards because what you were saying, it's so spot on. Facebook has become the ultimate, you know, yes, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday, or happy holidays. But how about receiving that thank you card? Thank you for being a loyal customer, maybe including a sample in that thank you card to encourage them to maybe try maybe one of our functional mushrooms. We have a new line that's out. Maybe they didn't know. Maybe they skipped through those emails, right? So it's a nice touch to go into the holiday season. So I want to know if our other council members have any ideas that they want to share.
Absolutely.
Oh,
go ahead,
sorry,
Sherry.
go ahead, Naiva.
Such an exciting topic. So I wanted to share a little bit about, you know, well, we were talking about, Sherry, you were talking about, you know, some of the holiday decorations and wrapping and things like that, and how those are so wasteful, right? After the holidays, what do we do with those things? And my son loves to make the snowflakes out of paper, right? So having fun arts and craft projects. Last year, we had our tree covered in paper snowflakes that we made with recycled paper. We actually reused some of his drawing papers, old drawings that he no longer was attached to, or other papers that we had laying around, magazines, things like that. And we cut them up and it was so fun. It was a great art project. And we hung them up in the windows. We hung them up on the tree. We had so much fun. We also have had, one year we decorated with shells. We decorated our tree with shells because we live in Hawaii, but you can even go to the store and get a package of multiple shells, right? They have them for like bathroom decorations and whatnot in the craft section. And so if you go to a Hobby Lobby or one of these stores that has arts and crafts, you can buy a big package of shells or something fun like that and decorate it. So we actually painted the shells, put glitter on them, put little ribbons on them so we could hang them on our tree. And we had the most wonderful Hawaii themed mermaid tree. We loved it. That was, I think, my favorite tree ever. And so there's lots of great ways that you can incorporate fun into the festivities, and you can recycle and create something that's really memorable, right? Those shell decorations, it's been like 5 or 6 years. I still have some of those shell decorations. And the following Christmas, after making those, I actually sent some out to the relatives as gifts, because now I had so many shell decorations that we had made and they were so beautiful. So I sent some to my dad in Canada and to my grandma on the East Coast and places where maybe they don't have access to a bunch of shells. And now when they put it on their tree, they have a fun memory as well of like, wow, I have this fun thing that the kids made, the grandkids made. And so think about these things, how we can give a gift that is also fun, right? Bring fun and creativity into the family. And so that's what I want to share about decorations, right? We don't have to buy plastic decorations or, spend money on these things that are going to eventually end up in the landfill. We can find fun ways to be creative and make things that are memorable. And then, of course, be able to regift them. And then on the wrapping subject, we have so many different ways to wrap gifts. And I love the idea of reusing the boxes, Taz. I do that all the time. I always save the boxes because, let's be honest, the Purium boxes are so nice and such quality. And I stuff my empty boxes with the paper bags that I get from, the Terra pouches. And I also save some of that paper stuffing. That way, if I ever need to stuff a box, I have some recycled paper stuffing. So you can use that paper stuffing as wrapping paper or those paper bags, and a fun, creative way to make those more festive, because let's be honest, it's not always fun to give somebody something in a paper bag, but you can take a sponge and cut it into the shape of, a Christmas tree, or get creative and cut it into different shapes and use that as a stamp for the kids. And they can put paint stamps onto the paper bags, which makes it so much more fun. And glitter sticks to paint, so you can always use a little glitter to make it fun and festive that way as well. And make your own wrapping paper and use the recycled materials that we already have. You can do the same on the Purium boxes. You can use those sponge stamps to be able to stamp on the boxes to make it more creative and fun and less plain. So those are just some of the ideas that I had, but I'd love to pass it over to Sherry and we'll continue the conversation.
So those are great tips. Those are actually, I was going to speak to those 2 points as well. So I'll just lightly elaborate. We had the same thoughts. So in terms of the wrapping paper you were talking about and how you like can recycle it, right, and make things out of them, like the snowflakes. I love that idea. And that instantly made me think of daycares. So fun fact, before I came into holistic health, I was a preschool teacher. And I know that as a previous teacher, we loved receiving art supplies, right? Because oftentimes daycares have very low budgets in terms of, and as teachers often wind up buying a whole lot of this stuff on their own to supply for their classroom. So even though it's already after the holiday season, by the time you have all this wrapping paper laying around, it's great to like donate to daycare. So they'll use it the following year for art projects, 100%. So that's one of the tips it made me think of. And on the wrapping paper end of it, I was going to share that when my kids were younger, what we would do was use brown paper like that, exactly like what we have with our Purium boxes and deliveries. And I would have my kids make a bunch of thumbprints with finger paint all over the paper. And then from those thumbprints, and they loved doing that. Like they were like preschool and even young, like school aged. And then I would draw reindeer out of the thumbprints and snowmen and Santa Clauses, and really create that festive wrapping paper. And I know that our family members loved receiving them, and especially when they thought, it's Jordan's thumbprints or Nathan's thumbprints. So that was something that we did for a couple of years. And the Purium paper is like perfect for that. It's really nice and thick, and it would work super well.
Well, I'm listening to these ideas and Kiara's next to me and she's like, yes, we're going to do that. Yes, we're going to do this. She's like writing a whole list. I'm listening to this live. Like those are amazing ideas. And as Sherry, you were talking about the paper and the thumbprints, I can see grandparents just cutting that out and framing it, because then this is memorabilia, of their
That's exactly. Yeah. Some of our family members did exactly that. It's funny that you mentioned that.
Yeah, and I mean, how beautiful this is, right? And I didn't even think about donating things to a preschool. I didn't think they would accept something like that. What a great idea. So if we have, fruitful availability of all of these eco-friendly things, why not just donate it to someone who we know will be using this in their arts and crafts? That's a great idea. I love that. And I think this is something we need to explore. Do you have any ideas? You know, coming from a teenager who's another member of our council member, I would love to hear.
Well, all those wrapping paper ideas are great.
Yes.
You know, I've been thinking about those. I also have, I mean, I have a plant your packaging, you know, you have all of the packaging for Purina.
Oh, yeah. Right? You could fill
Um,
it with dirt and then like plant something in it. Like if
right.
basil.
And you can also use that as a Christmas decoration as well. You can plant, I don't know what those plants are called, but it's like a Christmas plant.
Oh yeah, poinsettia.
Yes, you could
Yeah.
use those and just make a really nice decoration in your
Oh,
house, and
yeah.
it's all eco-friendly, and it's also a plant in your house, you know, who doesn't want that?
Right. Oh, I love it. And you know what we have to understand is that all of this plastic that we're all talking about today, it's not only the food we're consuming, we're breathing this in. This is a toxic fume that's emitting. So we are breathing in so many chemicals. So I would love to know from the field what other tips that you guys have that you love to share with us. Please raise your hand and we will unmute you. I would love to hear your ideas. There we go, Patty. There we go. Okay, Patty.
I've been having a whole lot of fun with The Big Stew. This is a book by Kimberly Branch, and I feel so fortunate to, I was like wanting to purpose it in events with children and mimicking what you have done at birthday parties. And I was excited to have a conversation with her and just talk about what I wanted to do with it. But this is just about 16 minutes of epic time spent. It's an hilarious story. And because introducing nutrition, and some parents that just don't, or for somebody that's in the listening to this might take a second look at how they really look at clean food. And it's a really fun story. I'm having a blast with it. I've been practicing it. So just invest in time. And it's a great gift. It's awesome. So that, and the last thing I wanted to just say is the paper that comes in the boxes and everything. I purposed that with my dog. It's perfect size too when he makes an offering, and I hate having to have plastic. We're at the ready. So that's just how I do here. And people have stopped and like, what are you doing? But this is how I do. And the paper is perfect. It's perfect. So those are my tips.
I love that, Patty. And that book, I remember it was being sold on Purium's website. It's still there? Okay.
It is there, but she also has a website with other material, and she's an amazing Purium person. She's a lovely person.
Can you post her page on the chat so we all can check it out? Because I didn't know she had other editions. That would be great. I remember when I was in Vermont, I picked up a book called Spirulina. So it was a story of Spiral and Lena, and it was a beautiful story. Like, you know, we need more storybooks like this.
So taking back story time is my heart, and I'm happy to have this book. So anyway, I will post it. I have to look for that. Thank you.
You, okay, Boo. Please unmute, share us your goodness.
Hi, thank you so much. I really love this call, so thank you all. I really loved what Taz's daughter just shared about the poinsettia, because although I'm not having any poinsettias, I love giving cuttings from my plants. And I'm like, oh, I need to buy some pots. But no, I don't. I can save those little bags, put some soil in it, and give my cuttings in some soil in those recyclable bags. So I love that idea because I keep them all. And I'm like, oh, and the other thing I do with the bigger bags, I'm in New York City, so I don't have composting or a garden near me, but I freeze all my fruit and composting. So I use the Purium bags to keep it in the freezer. And every time I have something, I take the bag out, I put the fruit in and I squish it down, squeeze out all the air, and then put it back in the freezer. And then once a week, I take it to the compost bin. So they're great for that. And you can even take the label off and just throw it in. But really the newest bags are best for that, because the compost bin needs to know that the bag is biodegradable. Otherwise, they get concerned that you've kept it in a bag. The silver bags don't have biodegradable, but the newest bags where the labels are printed on it say biodegradable on the back. So that's great. And maybe even find a way to put your gift card code on, because when they see these bags and the ingredients, they might just go to Purium and want to order some, and then we miss a sale. So maybe put a little sign or sticker, a biodegradable sticker on the bag when you compost it. A way of marketing as well.
Love that. Biodegradable stickers. I'm writing all these things on my list. Eco-friendly biodegradable glitter. I'm like, we can do like those hole punchy things that we used to use in school and do different colors, and that could be glitter. No? Right? Like confetti? That's what I was thinking of. I don't know. Okay, Mary Beth Fleming.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for this call. This is great. One thing I wanted to say about the Purium bags, this weekend, my kids and I, we're going to be making ornaments out of them because they're so fun and they're pretty and they're glossy. So that's one thing that we're doing. And then another thing we do as a family that's kind of a joke, but it's for fun, is that, we don't always need new things. And so we take time and we all go into each other's rooms and we look for things like, oh, there's that shirt that my mom never wears, or oh, there's that toy that we forgot we had and we never play with. And we rewrap it in reused wrapping paper so that we know it's a reused item. And then we put it under the Christmas tree and we all open it. And then, we're like, oh, look, it's that shirt. Okay, I'm going to wear that shirt. So, there's a lot of things we have around the house that often we forget about and we don't need to buy new stuff. So that's an idea.
I love that. And I love having your little one on. So beautiful. And how about like a book exchange, right? I know my kids have so many books. So we're always doing book exchanges with other families, instead of buying a new book because they always want something new. I'm like, let's just rewrap it and exchange books. It just makes everything more simpler. Or toys, do an exchange with that. It's a way to get it out of the house and get something new. I love that idea. And the more we do that, because like even wooden toys, they're so expensive, right? Why do we even need to do that? Let's just, and it only lasts like maybe a couple of weeks. We would think it would last longer than that, but in reality, it doesn't, right? So use that and pass it on to someone else.
Exactly. And also donate, it's Christmas, it's time to give. So if you have any clothes that you're not wearing, you can donate that, or donate toys, as you said, and please just give back.
Absolutely. Anyone else? Naiva, you having something to share? Oh, Dan. Okay, go ahead, Naiva.
Yeah, so I also wanted to share that with the little with the pouches, once I empty them out into my jars, I actually use them as snack bags. So for my son's school lunch, I will put berries in there for his snack, or a sandwich in there, or crackers, or whatever it is that I'm sending to him with his school lunch. And so you can use that as snack bags. And you can also, use those, repurpose them for different things. I love that Mary Beth is making, using them to make Christmas ornaments for her tree with the kids, like getting creative with them, because they are great and they are reusable and they're waste free. And then I wanted to pivot and also share that my kids and grandkids and I made Christmas cookies. We made sugar cookies this last week. And for the icing, I used spirulina to color the icing green. And I used the Can't Beat This to color the icing red. And I can't say that they came out the best, because of course I have like a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old decorating, but this has Can't Beat This decorations on it. And then we had a cookie cutter that is the shape of a foot, fitting for Hawaii, and spirulina icing. Of course, they're not super artistic. I did a little heart with Can't Beat This on this one, and somebody ate the big toe off. But you can use our superfoods to also decorate cookies, decorate, use them as part of what you're making. And if you are somebody that makes cookies to give as a gift, right, you can decorate it with some of our Purium goodies and have fun with it. And you can even, if you're going to sprinkle it with sugar, like on the sugar cookies on some of them, I just put the whole brown turbinado sugar, and then I put a little bit of Can't Beat This or Spirulina with 2 different batches, and we just sprinkled the cookies with the sugar, and it makes it colorful and festive, on point for Christmas, and you're adding a little bit of health benefits to those sugar cookies. So just wanted to share that as well in the holiday spirit.
I love that, Naive. And I was just thinking, when you rim a glass for like those holiday drinks, maybe you can dip that in like lime or lemon juice and then put Can't Beat This and put the cassonade sugar or something, on that. That sounds, I'm like,
Yeah.
all my creative juices are flowing in this call. This is great. Okay, Dan, I can't wait to hear what you have.
Hi, everyone. For those of you that, have purchased multiple, if not, many ULTs, you have like these, leftover blender bottles. What I like to do actually is I put my gift card inside there. It's in there somewhere. And then giving that as well as a gift, as well as, the sample packs to go along with that as, an amazing gift. And then obviously the apothecary instead of wine is really great. One more suggestion, just to, peel off these stickers and, slapping those onto, those dollar store sample packs that you may be giving out, cutting it out, making them a little smaller, having fun while doing it. You could even make the snowflakes out of this biodegradable packaging for, having fun over the holidays with the little ones. So I hope these suggestions have helped. And I'm happy to be on this call this afternoon.
Thank you. That's a great idea, right? We get so many of those blender bottles. I usually just give them away, but to gift them, that's a great idea. I'm putting a sample pack in there. I love it.
Yeah, there's also a thing going around on social media, mainly TikTok. There's a thing called Burr baskets that everyone's making. So it's basically a basket, and they always add like some form of blanket, a bunch of like little goodies like body wash, all these things. And we can add Purium inside of those Burr baskets. We can add those bottles, as Dan was saying. We can add, Power Shake and Spirulina. Can't Beat This, and it's really going to be a really colorful basket.
Yeah.
And you can add I know Purium has like some blankets or like something, like little things.
Picnic blankets. Yeah.
Exactly. So we can add that in and make a nice little Burr basket for your friends and family.
I like it. Great idea, Kiara. Patty, did you have another suggestion, or just you forgot? Okay. No worries. Well, do we have any tips to share? No? Are we complete? Okay, so let's get to Sherry with our call to action.
I love all of these ideas so much. And our call to action is actually in the spirit of what Naiva was sharing about icing, right? And how we can use our superfoods and add them to healthy recipes. So we have, I'm just going to share my screen. Okay, so here we have our recipe book. So this is dressings and appetizers, salads and soups, and we'll share the link in the chat for sure. And so what we are asking everybody to do today for our call to action is to share reach out to 10 people and share healthy recipes, right? Share the importance of creating some healthier recipes. We have our pledge in here. You can share this directly. You have your table of contents here with many, 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 many options. So many of them using our superfoods directly. As you can see that we have our Can't Beat This tahini dressing. We have our apothecary vinaigrette, which I can definitely vouch for. That is absolutely delicious. Lots of vegan options here. Veggie kebabs and veggie owl plate, garden wrap, lots of fun things, salads and soups. And then you can just share it, right? Share it with 10 people or more, and just get the conversation going, right? You talk about the Million Mom Movement, tag us in it, of course. Don't forget to tag us too. If you want to do a post as well about this, and offer, this link to people who are interested, you can ask people to comment below. And then you can share the link with them, have them visit our page as well to get more info about what we are all about. So that is our call to action for this week. And I will pass it over to Naiva, I believe. Muted.
Thank you so much, Sherry, for that. And thank you, Taz, for leading us today on this beautiful presentation. So for next week, we have our Wealth Wednesday on the 20th with Sonia Magruder. So make sure and mark your calendars for the 20th at 12:30 Pacific time, where we are going to dive into our Wealth Wednesday with our special guest. And then next week for Fierce Friday on December 22nd, we're going to have a call all about navigating the holidays and creating healthy habits that last into the new year. So again, we're going to be sharing some great recipes, health tips, and things to just help you as you go into the new year. And we're really excited for you to share the recipe book with your community. And at the end of that particular recipe book that Sherry just shared with you has the link to all of our other recipe books. And some of the other places you can find our recipe books is in our Million Mom Movement official on Facebook, as well as on our Instagram page, link in bio. Both of those places have additional links to our other recipe books. And we do have one focusing all on desserts, right? So entrees and desserts. And so we'd love to have you share whichever one of these recipe books are resonating with you, and with recipes that you're wanting to share right now. You can share individual recipes out or the entire book out to your community. The idea is to really just help grow this movement, because each and every one of you here is a part of this movement. And so by being here, you're taking this pledge to, do better by yourself and your family, and to learn and educate yourself and share with others. And so part of that is reaching out to 10 new people every week and inspiring them with what you've learned here today. And so we'd love to invite you to like, follow, and share, and get reposted on our social media channels. So we have our Facebook page at Million Mom Movement Official. Everything that gets posted from Instagram also gets posted to our Facebook page. Our Facebook page is also where you'll find the events for Fierce Friday. So if you're wanting to share those events out or join them virtually to get that reminder, then please go to Million Mom Movement on Facebook to our page. We also have a community Facebook group, Million Mom Movement Official, and we'd love for you to join us there to get this replay, and all of the links that we shared today get shared into that group when the replay gets posted. And then, of course, follow us on Instagram. If you're posting on Instagram, please tag us on your post so that you can get reposted. Tag us on your stories so we can share your stories of what you're doing, so you can continue to inspire our community. And then, of course, subscribe to our YouTube channel where the replays are always posted, and you can find all of our past replays. I think we're coming up close to 300 replays coming up soon. So excited for all of the incredible knowledge that we've been able to share over the years with all of you in our extended community here at the Million Mom Movement. And of course, join us weekly for Fierce Friday. So thank you so much for being here, and back to you, Taz. Any last words?
Absolutely. We can't end this call without talking about our alliance with the Plastic Free Alliance, right? We are partnered with the Plastic Free Alliance. This is who we are and what we stand for. And I mean, all of our packaging is plastic free. So please go to plasticfreeworld.org and share this. Share this with other people, because our packaging, this is what Dave developed. Okay, this is amazing. And this is how many things that we're saving. 4 million tons of plastic ending the ocean every year, 27 million tons of plastic ending the landfill, and only 3 million tons of plastic is recycled every year. So if you can share this with other people to go plastic free, share this with maybe packaging that you've noticed that you think that they should go plastic free, share this with them to start protecting our earth and ourselves. So thank you so much, everyone, and we will see you next week.